In the end, it is only through worldwide dialogue and governance we can treat the roots of terrorism and really weaken terrorist movements by addressing the issue of development and cultural diversity. Yes, indeed, we need a global answer to the threats of terrorism. We must seek the greatest possible efficiency. A state alone is not powerful enough. Much has been done, but we've got to do more and to do better. To confront terrorism, we have to know its mechanism. What is it? What are its methods? What does it aim at? These questions define the actions to be taken. First, terrorism has deeply changed over the years. Terrorism is not something new in the international scene. It's happened in the past, from the assassins or hashishins of history sowing terror to the anarchists in the Balkans in the early 20th century. But with the use of terrorism by some extremists claiming to act for Islam, we have entered through successive waves into a new era. The first wave was national terrorism for political ends. Between the two world wars, the Muslim Brotherhood was active in Egypt. Then in the 70s and 80s, there were terrorist attacks in Europe and France especially. The second wave is a more internationalist wave, internationalist terrorism with no specific geographical roots. It surfaced in troubled spots in the 90s, Bosnia, Afghanistan and Chechnya, and transformed them into real bases for violent radical groups ready to strike targets in other Muslim countries. The third wave, the global terrorism, that began with September 11 and since then multiplied around the world, in Spain in 2004, in Great Britain, in London in 2005, and last of all in Mumbai last November, with the now well-known names of Al-Qaeda or Lashkar-e-Taiba. But let's take a closer look at the phenomenon. Those who want to attack us are a few hundred people, scattered around the globe in countries miles away from each other. And yet, the terrorists have turned their dispersion into an asset, their mobility into a fearful weapon against all the people of the world. They have turned their weakness into strength, so successfully that no state today can put the fight against terrorism anywhere but at the top of the list of its security priorities. Secondly, terrorism is the product of a strategy built on three pillars. The first pillar, the show of force, measured in terms of numbers killed and shock value. The second pillar is the media impact, images, which leads terrorists to strike a distant but symbolic target so as to gain legitimacy and to spread fear. The third pillar, jihad, drawing its inspiration from extremist Islam, September 11 was an act of jihad projected far from its traditional geographic sphere in order to get the attention of the entire world. In a matter of seconds, thanks to TV and radio, the terrorist organization claimed to rise the level of the leading world power.